Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
Our YouTube channel. We're glad you're here. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like and check out our live streams during the draft.
Podcast below in the description.
So, as we record this right before round 2 begins, John, do you think the news that we've heard in the last 24 hours about what A.J. Brown's offers from the Titans were give us any insight into Deebo Samuel's situation with the 49ers? Let's go live now to John Middlecoff.
Yeah, I'm not saying teams are in cahoots, but you would think, two teams that wanted to keep their own guys, wouldn't they want to keep them at cheaper numbers, both working with the same agents, clearly offering A.J. Brown $16 million a year, truly offended him. We've heard different thing with the Niners. The other side has never really come out and talked about the offer. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the Niners are in a similar ballpark, and that really offended Deebo Samuel, and that's put him on this war path.
Yeah, I think it's very reasonable. I think there could be a difference, if you want to keep Deebo Samuel on the 49ers between the two situations. One is the Titans offer might have been best and final, like one of those, when you go, the car dealerships used to advertise the non-negotiable price. Like, this is the price, transparent pricing, which I always thought was weird because the negotiating was good for the customer, not good for the dealership, right? But I guess the idea was they'd artificially put the price high and then you negotiate it down. But maybe the Titans gave them, this is our best offer. Our quarterback is going to cost us over $40 million, or I think it's over $50 million, whatever.
His cap hit is 38.6 this year. His dead cap would have been $57 million.
Okay. But, right, the Titans have less wiggle room. The 49ers, it's an opening offer. Let's have a dialogue. And the Titans clearly did not have much wiggle room, right? What they said, if they told him and his agent, we don't have much wiggle room, they just told us that they weren't lying about it.
Yeah, and to me, is it even truly the wiggle room, or like, we value this guy at this number? A little Belichickian. John Robinson, Google the resume, longtime Belichick guy. Mike Vrabel, it's weird. He's considered a Belichick guy. He never coached for him, but he definitely played for him for a while and had a front row seat. They won because he made a lot of cutthroat moves. So it doesn't feel like Vrabel's against the cutthroat nature. It felt very much like the Titans had, like you said, a number that, and they just, under no circumstances, whether they had the room or whether they didn't, they were going to budge. This is our number. We're not changing. There is no, I watched John Robinson's press conference. There is no bridging the gap, where it feels like the 49ers are willing to build a bridge and meet you somewhere in the middle. Now, does the other side want to do that? Because ultimately, A.J. Brown, you would say, got a good deal, but it wasn't, it wasn't anywhere close, I'd say, to the other guys, right?
No, it wasn't. But I would say A.J. Brown was closer to Deebo than he is to Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill in terms of a body of work, right, and a career history.
Yeah.
So that's a much more reasonable comp. And, maybe for him there was a number that was going to make him comfortable, and that was the number. He got it. He didn't need, remember the Deebo, liking a tweet that was 25 APY. Just hit that number, and here we go. It wasn't so much about, I don't want to be here anymore, just I want that money. And that's the part about the Deebo situation that I think has been, has made it so such a big story, is because it's not exactly clear. Is it just about the money? Is it just about the opening offer? If it is, the good news is for the Niners, the last offer, the number you give him can be a satisfactory number if his other option is not get traded, which right now that option doesn't look very good. So if it's a contractual dispute, contractual disputes can often be solved with money if the dispute is about money. When you argue about money, you can usually solve it with money, right?
I also think the other thing that made a trade basically null and void and impossible for the Niners is the going rate for a trade. It turned out to be pick 18, right? You saw what Hollywood Brown went for. Now, Deebo's way better than Hollywood Brown. Same with A.J. Brown. But, meaning A.J. is a lot better than Hollywood as well. But the going rate is not the picks, I think, that social media thought, right?
Yeah, and that the Niners clearly, social media thought it because of what the reports were, that the Niners were going to need a king's ransom.
Yeah. Matt Barrows wrote or reported, I don't know why, I don't know where he said this, but everyone kept retweeting that pick 10 was on the table for Deebo Samuel, but they also wanted pick 61 back. So it's just, it's almost like the Jets are like, yeah, we'd want them for really cheap if you're going to sell. Other than that, we're cool with going. Like, it's not like the Jets were the Jets were in a position where they got Garrett Wilson, who
Yep.
I would say might not be the 10th pick in any draft, but he's a top 20 pick in any draft.
I'd say the Jets, given their timeline with their quarterback, had no reason to act desperately to get Deebo Samuel. He's not the missing piece for them.
No.
But he is for the Niners.
And I would say for A.J. Brown, like A.J. Brown is not traded, I don't think, and we talked about this live last night, if they don't get the guy they specifically wanted.
Right.
It was a wham-bam
Traylon
transaction.
Burks.
They didn't just trade him, and then an hour later, it's like, well, all the receivers are gone.
No, it was a Traylon Burks trade from the
Yeah.
Titans' perspective, right?
For
For
sure.
a fraction of the price, for $15 million over the course of 4 years.
And the Eagles don't end up with A.J. Brown if all those guys are gone, right?
No,
So who knows?
right.